All right. Hello, you two. How's everyone doing today? Give me just one moment to get all set up. All right. Well, we have a good crowd in here already. Thank you all so much for being here. All right. Let's see. All right, you guys. Well, welcome. Thank you again for being here. Appreciate it. Been looking forward to getting together with you all. Um, I'm going to go through. I have a bunch of announcements to make, so I apologize in advance if you don't like the announcements. But a lot of stuff going on. So let's start off with that. I will be reading on political and current event questions today. I had a bunch of people submit questions ahead of time, so um, I wrote some of those down that I thought would most of us would be interested in. I have my own questions, and I'll take some questions from the chat as well. Okay, but I think I'm pretty good on questions, so if I don't take a lot from the chat, I apologize. So if you could all do me a favor, as always, please hit that thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. My goal is to hit 25,000 before the end of the year. I think we're about 1,500 away. So if you could help me with hitting that goal, I would greatly appreciate it. Of course, these videos are for entertainment purposes only. I always say, use your own discernment. We're all intuitive. Take what resonates with you, leave what doesn't. And also, last week I was on Susan Lynn's channel, and I always enjoy our collaborations, but very, very strong energy between the two of us, and very strong connection with our last week's show. I feel like when I work with Susan, it's always one of those we kind of get in the synergy and in the space together. And I felt like a lot of the messages coming through last week were really strong and very uplifting. So if you have not checked out that video, go to her channel and check that out. I do have a lot of stuff going on between events, classes, upcoming shows. It's interesting because I have 2 Reiki classes this weekend, which I'm really looking forward to meeting my students and sharing this gift with all of them. Deeply transformative classes, and always something really special about like the group settings too, the energy from the group. But I was reflecting and preparing for my classes this week, and it's interesting how spirit sometimes will validate or show you those signs that you need to hear just in those moments. So I was thinking about doing a Reiki live show this Friday in the afternoon, probably around 3 p.m. Eastern. And as I was kind of reflecting on that in my class, somebody sent me a comment on my video of today asking if I could talk about Reiki. They didn't know what it was. So I took that as validation. So this Friday coming up, I'm going to do a Reiki live show. If you have any Reiki questions, if you are interested in learning about Holy Fire Reiki, my classes that I teach, or you just could use some healing energy, please join me for that. I'll post something on the community tab either later today or tomorrow, and I can take some questions ahead of time if you can't make it live. I'll also say with these Reiki experiences, if you miss it live, you can always go back to the videos later and connect with the energy. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to my 2 classes this weekend. For my members, we're going to do our next members live next Monday, October 27th. It is our mini personal reading live, and we also do a giveaway for a member for a free reading or Reiki session. I do have the 2 classes this weekend, and they are all-day classes. So as long as I'm feeling energetically up for it, we will do our show on Monday. If not, we will reschedule to the following Monday, and I'll do 3 shows for November. Anybody that may be interested in the members lives, I go live twice a month, usually Monday nights in the evening, 7 p.m. Eastern. One of the shows we do a Reiki healing and prayer circle. The other one I do mini personal readings and a giveaway. How I pick the questions for the members mini readings is I'll start the show. At some point, I'll make an announcement to send your questions in. I take the first 20 questions and create a list for that. So if you are a member or you want to become a member, if you want your question read, my recommendation is to get there at the start of the show and get your question in there pretty quickly. They do tend to fill up pretty quickly. So looking forward to that with members. If you're interested in becoming a member, the link's in the description box. I'd love to have you if that resonates with you. Next week, I'll also do a pre-recorded show with Ness. If I'm remembering correctly, I think we're going to merge the astrology of November and December together to kind of finish out 2025. And then for our December show, I think we're going to do an overview of 2026. So looking forward to that. I'm unsure if Mel is going to be on this week. I think he's still in France, I believe. So he's got a pretty busy schedule for like the next month. So I'll let you all know if I'm going to be on his channel on Thursday. When things start to settle down, we'll start to do more of a weekly show again for those that enjoy that. Because I know he has an event with Linda here soon too. So I'm looking forward to him kind of settling down with all the traveling. We can get back to a regular schedule. And also we're going to start talking about planning our Gettysburg trip for 2026. So excited to share more about that later with you all. I do have openings for readings. I do 60-minute readings. I have Reiki sessions open, do 60-minute time slots for those. A single session, or if you are looking for more in-depth healing or just want more of a regular upgrade to your energy, kind of Reiki balancing, and want to incorporate that into your life, I do have a 3-session wellness package. It's at a discounted rate. And I do have a reading and Reiki combination session if you want a little bit of both, or maybe you want spiritual guidance or insight to bring into the Reiki healing. I have appointments available for all of November right now, so you can check that out on my website, kevinlovingvibrations.com. I'm going to talk more about the classes that I'm offering on Friday, but just real quick, I have 2 Holy Fire Level 1 and 2 classes that I'll be hosting in January. The one date is Saturday, January 10th and 31st, and then the other class is Sunday, January 11th and February 1st. I've been getting a lot of people interested in taking Reiki, and it is a total beginner class. So if you want to kind of set those New Year's intentions and empower 2026 with Reiki, I'd love to have you. I'm also excited to be teaching my first Holy Fire Master Level class, November 28th through the 30th. It is a 3-day class back to back. It's deeply healing and transformational. I took a review class over the summer and I'm still feeling the energy integrate. So you do have to be a Reiki practitioner, level 2 or higher, for at least 6 months. And it can be from any lineage. It doesn't have to be just Holy Fire. You also have to have the level 2 symbols memorized, and you'll want a decent understanding of what Reiki is, practice doing Reiki for yourself, others, and at a distance. If you have any questions about if you're ready to take the class or any questions with Holy Fire, like I said, I'm going to be doing a show on Friday, but you can send me an email as well. kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com. It's in the description box. I do have 1 student signed up for it right now. If for some reason I don't get any more students, I probably will be rescheduling it to early 2026. So if that date works better for you, you can send me an email as well, and I'll notify you if that changes or when my next master level class will be. And then lastly, before we get started, again, I apologize, a lot of stuff going on. My next monthly Reiki share or Reiki group mentoring will be November 1st. It's on a Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. It's a wonderful space to connect with other compassionate Reiki practitioners. I've really enjoyed building this group up. And we talk about our practice reviewing Reiki techniques, any Reiki or healing, energy healing discussions or experiences that we've had with Reiki. We always have some time to do practice self-Reiki or trading Reiki with another practitioner. Sometimes we'll do some healing experiences that are really powerful as well. You do have to be a level 2 practitioner because we do distant healing in the Reiki share. Um, and if you haven't taken the class with me, you're more than welcome to join. I just ask that you send me your level 2 certificate. All right. So looking forward to get together with that group as well. All right, you guys. I warned you. I had a bit of a spiel going on. So, and all of that information I just went over is all in the description box. So if anybody has any questions, let me know. I'll also say too, I was thinking about the Reiki show this Friday. As much as I know how important doing the political readings are. I am going to start brainstorming, going into doing other topics, about spiritual growth and development, um, different healing modalities, or different conversations with that. I'm kind of brainstorming on how I want to do that just yet. So if you have any ideas, or possibly anybody you think I'd be a good collaboration with, send me an email. Because that's something I'd like to start, probably in 2026, focusing a little bit more on that. I'm going to still do the politics. I know that's what most of you guys enjoy, but I also want to focus in on how we can rise above this current turbulence that we're kind of going through, and to help give tools and be a better of assistance for people to stand in their power. Okay. All right, you guys. So enough of that. We got a bunch of you here already. Thank you so much. I'll just say, I know that it's so hard to be grounded in these current times, but give yourself a win. This weekend was historic with the protests. I'm feeling very excited and empowered. Try to focus in on that, this movement. I know it's hard when we see him destroying the White House and everything else going on, but focus in on the wins. Focus on those things that make you feel empowered and that give you hope and love. All right. I did say it was going to be a historic protest. I feel more to come. If you protested over the weekend, let us know what you thought in the chat or in the comment section after this post. My husband wasn't feeling up to it, so we did not protest for the whole 2 hours in one of our local places. But even though he wasn't feeling up to it, I still made sure to drive by the protesters a few times and honk my horn. So still supporting, and I will say the turnout compared to June's protest was at least double. I think they're saying 7 million is their estimate. I think it's quite a bit higher than that. I think they're being a little low with their estimate. I'm feeling like it very well could have been almost double the last one. All right. And I did see somebody post online this really funny sign, where they used Trump's Time magazine article that he hated the photo of, and they said grab him by the nussy, since it kind of looked like his neck was a little bit tight there. I don't know. I posted it on my YouTube, but I thought that was hilarious. Lots of good signs I saw, though. All right. But take the win. Lots of you were protesting. I love that. I think it's so important. I think the most important thing Spirit tells me is to not give up hope, focusing on the world that you want to create. So take the win with the protest, okay? It's so easy to focus in on everything else. Focus on those things that inspire you and send that energy out into the universe. All right. So I have quite a bit of notes from my own hits, questions I took. I do have some questions starred. I was having a vision, and I don't remember if I talked about this with Ness, but I was seeing a lot of flooding. And I was almost being pulled to more of the Southwest kind of area. And I'm not sure if they've already been having a lot of flooding, but keep that on your radar. I feel like globally, though, a lot of flooding and water events. I talked about, and I still feel like a big ship sinking or getting hit. that felt like it was more in the Middle East. It's not the ones that Trump's are targeting in the Caribbean. I almost felt like it was a trade vessel or an oil ship. This felt a little bit more overseas to me, but I did almost feel like maybe there's like a dam breaking that causes significant flooding. And I was feeling like China or over in Asia, also maybe like a bridge collapse, but significant flooding and water events kind of coming up for the end of the year. And some of those may go along with the earth shifts that I've been picking up on too, earthquakes, volcanoes, all of that stuff still being very prominent. So just to be mindful of that. I will say, very glad, hurricane season isn't over, but I think there was a lot of close calls there because I was feeling significant hurricanes, and I do believe in the power of prayer. And I think a lot of us light workers kind of shifted some of those worst case scenarios that I was maybe picking up on. So grateful for that. So, continue to send light, positive energy towards all of these shifts. A lot of people asking about the White House. I'm appalled by that as well. It's kind of devastating, and it's very literally he's destroying the White House and our government, but very symbolically of where we're at this time too. And I almost felt like he did it more so to get back as he was pissed off about the protests over the weekend. So, don't he wants us to be afraid. He wants us to be angry, and rightfully so. I think a lot of us are angry, but don't allow that to consume you guys. All right. I do feel like I said it all along. I felt like the ballroom would be put in place, but I almost feel like it's not going to be used as a ballroom. It'll be used as something else. But yeah, I know that we're all kind of upset about that. Him kind of trampling our historic building, the People's House. Another thing, and I want to just briefly read on this. Since last week when I was on live and with Susan, Bolton was indicted. And I will say, and I've said, Comey and Letitia James, those feel like they go nowhere. Bolton's charges feel a little bit different. Okay. And I don't know if it's because it's the classified information that he has. Obviously, he's going to continue to go against, his enemies. He's got that enemy list. Something feels a little bit different with Bolton, so I don't know if any of those charges will actually stick. All right. So that's where I want to start. We're going to take a look at Bolton, his outcome with these charges. And then I got a bunch of your questions that you sent in too. Laura, I agree. I'm not a fan of Bolton. I'm not a fan of Comey, to be honest with you. Don't forget he's a Republican. So, it may mean that he did something illegal. Right. All right. Didn't he have like a book that, he wanted to, he could have been helpful to this movement against Trump, but all he cared about was profits. I think that's why he got in trouble, right? Was it over a book? Just trying to remember. Yeah, I think he might do some time too. And like I said, to be honest with you, I don't care. I don't like, obviously, Trump going against his enemies, but yeah, I agree. I have not forgiven Comey what he did to Hillary either. No, I don't hold on to stuff like that, you guys, but I have not forgotten. We'll say that. All right, Bolton. I definitely feel the other two, I don't see the cases really going anywhere. I think Comey, and I said this when it happened, I felt like the judge was going to just dismiss the charges. The case wasn't going to go anywhere. This one, I do feel this is going to go on for a while. I did have the Nine of Cups come out too. He's a bit smug there. He's waiting on the horizons, hoping somebody comes in to save him. It's like the overindulgence, though. You have the Nine of Cups here with the Nine of Pentacles. So it's all about him, you know. Very selfish kind of in that energy. The Empress. There's disappointment here. At the root of it, it's Three of Swords, disappointment. Something he did in the past, creating that tower moment. In the very least, I think it's going to cost him some money here. Yeah, he was a sneak. I think that there is something here, you guys. Stealing classified information. He's got some burdens and troubles he's working through. And final outcome, Emperor, Moon, and Justice. So justice will be served here. If he has done something wrong, it will play out. It's like the Emperor has secrets here too. So I'm not feeling like significant jail time, but it could be a couple years. It could be costing him a lot financially with the legal cases too. Just wanted to throw it out there though. His indictments felt a little bit different to me than the other two. All right. And I didn't get this question, but my last question that I want to read on, let's take a look at McConnell. He had a fall last week, and I said with the health stuff, we were going to see more and more of it. I didn't see him finishing out his term. Felt like he'd be leaving his term early. I think he's up in 2026 or 2028. I don't remember off the top of my head. All right, but let's take a look at McConnell. Sharon was wondering about Mitch. Yeah, I was too. Even though I wouldn't say that he's a MAGA Republican. I think he's just as much to blame in the circumstances that we're in right now. You know, he had an opportunity to impeach Trump where he wouldn't have been eligible to run for re-election. All McConnell cared about was this corrupt Supreme Court that we currently have. That's just, you know, there's none of those checks in place to stop him. So in my opinion, I feel like he's just as much to blame for allowing Trump in the MAGA movement. All right, let's take a look at his health, energy around him. I still don't feel he'll finish out his term. I'm not saying he passes away, although I do feel like that's a possibility. I'm not wishing it, but yeah, the health is going to continue to bother him. And I'm almost seeing him too, like, I don't know if he has to be in a wheelchair. Obviously with the fall and all of that, could be another break. But I kind of feel like his reign is about over too. Ooh. He thought he was winning for so long. He's got some disappointment move. Things are speeding up for the removal, though. You have the Five of Swords here, which in this deck you can kind of see he's having a hard time walking down the stairs, but it's all about being oppressed by the bully, being a victim. The Death card with that. It doesn't necessarily mean physical death, but a lot of changes and endings coming in his way. Some financial hardships too, which actually I find a bit interesting. Five of Pentacles could also mean job loss, so not being able to finish out his term. He's got the walking issues, but then also too something going on in the head space. Two of Swords. You got the crown chakra here in the root of the reading, which if you don't know, the crown chakra is all about our spiritual connection. So is this a transition to that? Yeah, there's a bit of suffering here. I'm not doing well. I'm going to take this Five of Pentacles means there's a change. With the Death card, there's a change to his term where he's out of his seat because of the health. Really not doing that well. Somebody says, what are you all talking about? The White House being demolished. If you haven't seen the photos, he took like a tractor in there, kind of ripped out the whole east wing so he can put his damn ballroom in there. Yeah, we were talking about Mitch McConnell. I've often said, and I still feel this way, the governor of Kentucky, Beshear, I think he'll finish out his term as governor, but I see him eventually winning as a senator for the state. So that will be a good win for Democrats. I don't know if it's necessarily McConnell's seat, because I think McConnell's up for re-election before Beshear's term is up. I do see Beshear running for president in 2028. I'm not seeing him winning it. All right. Yeah, I saw that he had a goofy look on his face, McConnell, when he fell. Lisa's from Kentucky. She says, I hope Andy Beshear, our Kentucky governor, replaces him with a Dem. Although the Republicans changed the law and he's supposed to replace him with the same party. Yeah, I see that being challenged. Beshear would absolutely try to replace him with a Dem, Lisa. And I think Amy McGrath is running again. I don't know about her becoming senator. But I do see Beshear at some point being a senator for the state. Yeah, I thought McConnell seats up 2026. All right. So let's get started with some of the questions. Somebody wanted me to check on Speaker Johnson. Will the House Republicans vote to oust Speaker Johnson before 2025? Take the timing with a grain of salt, but it's interesting because in the past I felt like he was going to be outed because of like one of the budgets or possible shutdowns. So let's just take a look. I don't know if it'll be 2025. I think it could happen in 2025 or early 2026. The thing is, when Trump goes down, the whole party's going to implode. It's going to be chaos within the Republican Party. So if he's still in there when Trump leaves, I see him leaving right behind. But let's just see where the energy sits right now. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sly Marlowe. All right. Well, the World came out for him, which is the last card in the major arcana, which is the card of completion. Next card is the Fool, which starts a new beginning. Excuse me. Ooh, people are pissed with him right now. Ace of Wands. People fighting up against him. The karma is coming here. It's a turning point for some of these Republicans. And a lot of them are really upset too because they don't look good when he dismisses the House and puts them on recess for a whole month when they already aren't there very often. I feel like they're on vacation more than they're actually working. And during a government shutdown, yeah, a lot of them are kind of freaked out about his leadership there. Ooh, we got secrets with the high priestess coming out. Turning point with the secrets that leads people even more angry. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more of the grinder stuff, or, I always get the creepiest vibes from him. And I also feel like there's some kind of money scandal for him too. Yep, he's crossed by people standing up, fighting him. Yeah, the death card above him. That's a change. And the Fool, a new beginning. It's coming here soon. Get the Empress as the final outcome too, so it could be a female in the party. I mean, MTG's kind of called him out quite a bit. I don't see her as speaker, but maybe some of these females, female Republicans that are trying to get the Epstein stuff released, being pissed off and turning against him. Yeah, I definitely see him leaving here sooner rather than later. If it's not by the end of 2025, I feel like it'll be early, by like spring of 2026. All right. And I know we'll all welcome that change. Democrats won't be around to save him. I agree. The House and Senate should not be collecting a paycheck while everyone else isn't getting paid. The thing with that, though, too, and I agree. The thing with that is, they all have so much money and all of that because they're all bought and paid for. It really doesn't hurt them if they don't get a paycheck. It's all of the other Americans that that work for our country, that support our country and makes our country go. They're the ones that are living paycheck to paycheck. I agree, Shen Greenidge. I can't believe how a so-called Christian like Grinder Johnson could stand up and lie on Democrats and the public. What a hideous creature he is. Absolutely. All right, you guys. So I got a couple of your questions. I'm going to go back and forth between your questions and the ones that were sent in ahead of time. Got some good stuff that I want to look at there. Pauline Jordan, do you see Trump pardoning Maxwell? Thank you. I keep going back and forth with it, to be honest with you. He just pardoned Santos. I'm honestly not surprised. And I felt like he would pardon Diddy too. Maxwell, he would love to pardon her. I mean, she's already got a bunch of special treatments with her prison transfer. But the thing is if he did that, his base would really be done. And some of them are starting to wake up. Another thing, I know a lot of you were worried about, the midterms and all of that. But the thing is, yes, some of the Republicans are waking up and will vote against him. But even if they don't, everything he's doing is pissing off Democrats and independents and people that don't vote in every election. And those people are going to be coming out in droves for midterms. So they can try to cheat and manipulate and do those tactics that they've done in the past. The thing is his base not coming out because they're not happy with the direction he's taking our country, and him pissing off everybody else. It's going to make that shift. All right. So I don't want you all to worry about that. Sorry, going off topic a little bit. All right. Is he going to pardon Maxwell? Oh, she's got the Hermit right now. Excuse me. And they have some kind of deal here. The thing is if he were to pardon her, she's got no life. She's going to be the hermit for the rest of her life, hiding. Do have her turning her back, heading in a bit of a different direction. The Knight of Wands kind of comes in here too. Can be a card of travel here. I have the Lovers and the Devil here. So it's like there's been a pretty corrupted deal that they have here. I'm sure that doesn't surprise everybody. But there is also a retreat here too. So there's a plan in place. I don't know if Trump doesn't honor the plan. It could even be too, this could be the death card, the coffin. We know Trump's not in good health, so maybe that takes him out before that happens. I'm feeling intuitively a bit mixed. There's plans in place there to pardon her. I don't know if he would do it before the midterms, though. I'm feeling more likely than not he will try to pardon her. All right. I mean, if he does, it could be too far in the end of his reign. I don't know about that. It would definitely destroy his base. I don't know if that would be what gets him removed. But the Epstein stuff's coming out. I've told you guys. I know timing maybe isn't always there, but I still see it coming out. So, and I feel like the financial channels between funding the trafficking, that's where I see Trump really getting caught up with it. Not necessarily him indulging, and not to say that he did or didn't, but it feels like it's more financial is what I'm picking up. All right. Somebody wanted me to take a look at Susan Collins. They wanted me to take a look at some of these off-year elections coming up. So we're going to look at some of those. Susan Collins isn't up till next year. I think I read on it not too long ago, and I felt like it really depends on if she wins. I know a lot of you guys really like that man that's running. Is it Plattner? Is he like a fisherman or works with like the crabs or lobsters or something like that? I see a lot of excitement around him, not being a corporate Democrat. But when I threw cards on it, I got between the two of them. It looked like Collins would win. If Janet Mills, the governor, runs, I feel better about her being the candidate to take out Susan Collins, unfortunately. But I'll throw just a couple cards on it. They did not look very good the last time I looked. But energies change. Yeah, I got if the governor got it, she has a much better chance to defeat Collins than Plattner. I think is his name, Graham Plattner. If I'm not right, somebody in the chat will correct me, but I just have to say how I see it, unfortunately. And I like his energy too. I think the Democratic Party needs to make a lot of changes too, but I think you almost need somebody with that name recognition. I hear you. We want new blood, but we also want new blood that can win, right? Susan Collins, is she going to win re-election? High Priestess. Some uncertainty there. People aren't happy with her. She does have the I don't know, the cards are kind of mixed with this, you guys. It's like she has that platform in place and has the funding there. But there's a tower moment coming up for her. And some disappointment, something she doesn't want to acknowledge or realize. The Hierophant is here, which would be like an elected leader. But then there's also the High Priestess here. I'm not liking these cards for her. And last time I read on it too, it said that she had better cards about winning. I mean, she has the support in place, a lot of money in place, but there's some implosion happening. And I definitely feel Trump will be out before midterms. So maybe that's where the whole party kind of collapses. It's kind of that tower moment. The party crumbles. But I think a lot of people from Maine are really kind of tired of her too. I don't know. I like those cards a lot better than the last time I read on it. But I do feel better about Janet Mills if she's the nominee. Yeah, I know. I saw she said she was going to run. Somebody asked me about Tim Walz. I could be wrong, but I'm not feeling him running for president or him. I'm not really seeing a big future in government. I don't know how long he can see as governor, but I'm not necessarily picking him up in the future administration or in the White House. I'm just not seeing it, unfortunately. And I think he'd be great, but he's running for governor. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if they have term limits there or not. Okay, he's running for governor again. Thank you. I don't know. I'm just not feeling him in the administration or in the White House. Somebody wanted me to take a look at if SNAP benefits will stop in November. I'm just going to throw a couple cards on that. Are they almost out of money with the government shutdown where they would stop the benefits? I don't feel people losing their Social Security. I do feel maybe for a small group of people, they're stopped. So I don't know if that's because of states, but I don't see, looking at the big picture, them being stopped. I don't know if that makes any sense. Was it Trump threatening to eliminate SNAP? Oh, Kathy says in Oregon, SNAP benefits are being cut severely. I know, we're all pissed off about the White House, 64. But like I said too, acknowledge the win that we had over the weekend. It was historic. And this resistance is going to continue to build. So you know, the thing is if they cut food stamps, and I'm not feeling it overall being affected, maybe they cut like the amount people are getting, which still is going to hurt people. Not to say that there won't be some Democrats that suffer, but a huge amount of his base really depend on Medicaid, Medicare, food assistance. And, you know, unfortunately, that's how some of these people are going to have to wake up. You know, when people suffer, it can sometimes be that wake-up call to make that necessary change. And I hate seeing the suffering, you know, to begin with. But the thing is some of those people that are going to be really affected are in denial that he would hurt them. And he doesn't care about his base. All right. His SNAP benefits going to be cut. People are still fighting. This is being victorious too. People are tirelessly fighting back. There's an offer here coming in, and then the government coming in. There's a celebration. I still feel like maybe a small amount of people will be affected, but I'm not. And like I said, that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody's SNAP benefits go away too. Maybe it's more so, the funding, the amount people are getting. But I'm not feeling it overall. People not getting their SNAP benefits for November. Like I said, maybe some people will be affected, but not a big amount. Yeah, there's an agreement as a final outcome here. See momentum. There's changes happening here with the king. Oh, I don't want to call him king. The person who thinks he's king. And people have had enough. I see people standing up. Yeah, I think it's going to be okay, you guys. The thing is I did not feel a very long government shutdown. I did get, there would have to be some compromise and negotiation on both sides. But the thing is they're only doing a CR. So even if they do come to an agreement, and I do feel like there'll be some progress this week on kind of coming up with some kind of agreement to reopen the government. But even if they come up with an agreement, I think it was only extending the budget for a couple weeks. Like they would have to vote in another CR or a total bill in November, end of November. So, and Republicans have been working the last 4 weeks in the House. So, all right, you guys. I want to take a look at, double check the governor races in New Jersey. Virginia, I still feel Abigail Spanberger really winning that election. I don't see, but there's a lot of question in with the New Jersey governor race, I think with polling, and I think a lot of people are afraid that that attorney general race in Virginia might affect Democrats down ballot. So we'll take a look at that too. I'm not feeling a stock market crash. I do feel it readjusting and it going down some, but I'm not feeling a crash. Somebody wants to know about Virginia's book being released today. I'm not feeling, I do feel like there's going to be a lot of damning information in that book, but I'm not feeling like that's what takes down Trump and like it's the book that takes down a lot of the people that are associated with Epstein. I've always said I feel like it's coming from overseas. And that could be why, too, was it Prince Andrew just revoked all of his titles because they know that something big's about to drop to the public. It feels like it's dropped from overseas. I'm not feeling like it's the book, even though, her story is awful. I don't feel like that's going to be what brings everything down. It may have a small part to play, but it doesn't feel like it's the significant part, if that makes sense. She didn't name names, yeah. But I feel like it's heartbreaking, obviously. All of the victims. So we're going to take a look. Is Mickey Sherrill going to be the next governor of New Jersey? And the Republican is Jack Ciattarelli. I I feel good for both of the females, Mickey Sherrill and Abigail Spamberger, winning. She's been working really hard, building up that support, that infrastructure. I think getting a lot of donations here too. I think a lot more than her Republican. She's got momentum here, Chariot's victory. I think she's excited. Queen of Wands here. Good news. I get yes. I do see Mickey Sherrill winning. And we'll just double check with Abigail Spamberger. I'll say out of the two, I don't have a doubt Abigail Spamberger is going to win. Christy says if Trump cuts SNAP benefits, we should cut his McDonald's. I mean, the only thing is if we cut his McDonald's, I shouldn't say that. We know it's not helping with his arterial flow. We'll just put it that way. I don't wish anybody harm or. No, I hear you. I'm disappointed in Fetterman too. I'm almost feeling Connor Lamb's going to primary him when he's up. I see Fetterman out. But he had so much potential there too. He really changed after his stroke. All right, Abigail Spamberger, are you going to win your governor's race? And I feel like these elections coming up, and then like as a Prop 50 in California, I feel like this continues that resistance movement because we've seen Democrats overperform in red states, in special elections, flipping districts that Trump won by 10, 20 points. And so it's like it's going to continue to grow momentum, the resistance against Trump. Oh, I feel like she's a tough cookie too. Government above her, Hierophant. She's a leader. And she's just unbothered by everybody else. She's very strong, Abigail Spamberger. And I think she's got a lot of good ideas for Virginia. And people are excited with her. I get she's going to win by a landslide. I don't remember who she's running against, but yeah, I don't even feel her race will be close. Do we want to take a look at the Attorney General in Virginia, Jade Jones? Does he hurt Democrats on the ballot? You know, the thing is, I don't condone what he said about, I don't know if he was wishing death on an opponent. I don't agree with that at all, no matter what side you're on. But the thing is I think it's a bit ridiculous because we know Republicans have laughed at political violence and the same, but they don't get the press coverage, and it doesn't hurt them politically as it does if Democrats do the same thing. You know, there's no acknowledgement or big story when Republicans were all laughing that Nancy Pelosi's husband was attacked. I can't stand the double-sidedness. The hypocrisy there. Let's see if he's going to hurt Democrats' chances. I'm just going to throw a couple cards. He may lose that race, though, and I think there was a Republican incumbent before him for Attorney General, but it's going to hurt Democrats down ballot. I don't think so. That race actually might be a bit close. It might be closer than what they're predicting now. And like I said, I feel like he may lose it, but it does feel like it's close. Democrats have gotten a lot of money and funding. Ace of Pentacles here. He's going to be trapped by this. It might affect a little bit. I'm not feeling overall a huge amount. So you have the Eight of Swords, which is kind of trapped. There's some defeat here with the Ten of Swords. Could be him too. People walking away from him. Yeah, I think he's going to lose. Like I said, it might be closer than what they're predicting. I'm just going to throw a card. Are Democrats down ballot going to be affected? And I might answer, we're on about an hour. I like to end with the spiritual messages from the universe to help us during these trying times, but I might do one or two more questions if you want to put them in the chat. Yeah, it's because they own media. I agree, Lisa. It's like the same thing with Biden. You know, people writing books about his health and the media not letting that go. Are they talking about Trump and his health? Yeah, I feel like Democrats hold on. They have security here. They're holding on. And a lot of teamwork. Building up that foundation. I feel like Democrats are going to do well in Virginia. It might affect a little bit, but I don't see it being a major, his scandal being a major hit on the rest of the down ballot races. I know, the double standard. All right, you guys, I'll do one or two more questions. Those are all the questions that I had written down. All right, let's see. I don't see Trump around come midterms, JC. Try not to worry about that. I know it's scary, but I don't see him using the National Guard or military to stop elections. Yes, I'm a senior, but there are programs for seniors that help, like senior centers. Absolutely. We have to get creative, and we can do without a lot of extras. Yeah. We'll get through this time. I'm not saying it won't be a struggle, but yes, I see the Epstein files being released soon. Will Pete Buttigieg be Newsom's running mate? Well, I have not said I officially think it's going to be Newsom. You can agree or disagree with me. It may be between him and Harris. I don't feel like she's out. I know others have said differently, but I do not agree. Respectfully. I see Pete Buttigieg as a running mate for somebody. I don't know if it's this election or if it's in a future election. He's still pretty young. I think he'll definitely be in somebody's administration in some capacity. Let's just ask, will he be on the 2028 ticket? Because if it's VP, Knight of Cups. He would be a really good proposal there. There might be a proposal there as well. Comes across young, compassionate, kind of dreamy. Knight of Cups. I don't know though. I don't think it's in that 2028. I think it's 2032, a future election. He'll be a VP, and I could absolutely see him as president one day too. Yes, hit that thumbs up. Thank you, Becky. Now, there's not going to be repercussions for him destroying the White House, unfortunately. I mean, I think it's going to rub a lot of Americans the wrong way and piss them off. But I don't see it being legal challenges or him going to jail for doing it, unfortunately. Ohio governor, no Ramaswamy. Yeah, I'm not feeling Ramaswamy, but I'm not feeling, is it Amy Acton? I think Tim Ryan's going to run for that race. I would love it if he won. Let's just throw for Ramaswamy. Is he going to be the next governor of Ohio? And there's a lot of fights there. Is anybody challenging him? Because I'm getting like there's big competition here. It won't be easy for him to win. He has the Four of Wands, which could be some kind of celebration there, but King of Swords. There's disappointment there. I'm not feeling it though. He's got Three of Swords and Eight of Cups. Walking away, disappointment. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, but I'm not really seeing him as governor, right? That's not to say, though, if there's not somebody running against him on the Republican side, it can be another Republican. Yes, we're on the winning side of history. I agree. Some people are agreeing with Kamala. I've always said I see Pete Buttigieg as Secretary of State at some point. And I feel like that would happen before VP, so. We still have quite a bit of time before now in 2028, so we'll see how it all unfolds. But I wouldn't count Kamala out just yet. I'm not saying she's going to be the nominee. I think she's going to take this time to really communicate and get to know what's important to voters. I think that she has something to prove this time, where it's not like it was just given to her like last time. She wants to work hard and do it herself. And she's already got that foundation there as well. Have already ran from president, you know? So I'm going to cut her out to shut. All right, you guys, let's throw a couple cards on messages from Spirit. What guidance they have for us. Again, if you're feeling a bit stressed out, want to learn more about Reiki or need some healing energy, I'd love for you to join me on my Reiki show on Friday. I'll do a powerful healing experience for you all. We'll talk about my classes and what Reiki is, whatever questions you might have. I do Holy Fire Reiki, so a lot of people have a lot of questions about that. Thank you, Aries Fire. Appreciate the super chat. All right, what do we need to know, Spirit? What guidance do you have for us? Your soulmate. Let's see what the message of this is. Feeling like definitely connect to that heart space. I think a lot of us are really placing all of our attention in the mind, and not, that's a bad thing. We want the mind to be active, but sometimes we get to a point too where we project a lot of the fear or things that haven't even happened yet. We can kind of get in that downward spiral, and we can balance out the mind being overactive by connecting to that heart space. You know, doing the things that fill you, that bring in that love and compassion. The message with soulmating is embrace your soul to reveal a partner. A new encounter or deepening of an already existing union will profoundly change the way you perceive unconditional love. Chemistry between two people does not mean that they are life partners. You have entered each other's life to awaken, expand, and open your heart so wide that they may never close again. It may last for a moment, a season, or a lifetime. Time is not necessary to shift the cogs of the heart and feel the absolute ecstasy of you. A moment can always open you to euphoria. The purpose of a soul relationship is to mirror your love and light and melt away any hard edges or walls you've built. Yeah, I think that's something we can all relate to right now. Whatever is mirrored will intensify. Love and peace will will feel bigger, but so will fear or pain. So really try your best to tap into that love and that inner peace within our spirit, within our higher self. This reveals any wounds that hold us away from love, so we can heal them and embrace more of the love we already recognize. Yeah. Really sit in that heart space, you guys. Do no, what's the word I want to say? That self-care being so important right now. And don't allow somebody to steal your joy, as hard as it is that we're going through, times we're going through. We don't have to allow somebody to have that kind of attachment or hold over us to take away our love. Because we're all a wonderful community of light workers. So we have to share that love with the world. And there's more of us than there is of them. And that's the shift that we're going through, one that's a lot more heart-centered and compassionate and caring. Not to say that we won't have duality and everything will be perfect all the time. We still learn valuable lessons through the hardships that we go through. But we're shifting where more people are going to be more heart-centered and compassionate. Everything turns to light. Turn everything to light. I work on improving myself, embrace all that life brings me, and transform darkness into light. I allow myself to grow and become stronger. Absolutely. Let's do a crystal too. Now, Celtic Seer says, as an astrologer, we haven't heard the last of KH. I agree. I don't know anything about her astrology or chart, but root chakra. Red hematite. It's the wound healer. I don't know if I have red hematite, but I love hematite to help keep me grounded. Got a piece here, piece on my bracelet. Got a big stone in my pocket. To me, it feels like it's just a magnet to the earth. I love holding on to it and just taking moments to be still, to breathe, to come to the present, to ground the energy. Red hematite can help with wound healer. It brings energizing life force, provides strong and immediate healing to the entire physical body and tissue. Some of the emotional qualities: strengthens meditative focus, provides courage, protection, emotional strength, and a sense of security, deflects emotional negativity, balances and integrates the physical and spiritual energies, and protects against toxic relationships. Maybe it helps set those boundaries so we're not just picking up all that toxic news and everything that's going on as well in the world. The message is, I'm restored. So if you can find red hematite, I think regular hematite's great. Even if you like red jasper, I think we'll kind of bring in some of that security for you too. If you like crystals, that can help. All right. If you're feeling a bit stressed, love to have you join me on my Reiki share. You can book a reading with me, book a Reiki session. I do a combination of both. I have openings on my website for November. Maybe now's the time to take a class, to feel empowered with that light energy of Reiki, focusing on our own spiritual and physical growth and development. Anybody can learn Reiki, and it can be absolutely life-changing. It's a wonderful tool, especially if you identify being very empathic. Can help with setting those boundaries and that protection, so everything around us isn't influencing us so much. I have the level 1 and 2 classes in January of next year. I have 2 classes. If you're interested, maybe taking the Holy Fire, if you've been a SUI trained, or if you've taken my classes, I'd love. I'm excited to be teaching my first class, and really the experiences and attunements in the Holy Fire Master level class are deeply powerful. And then I have my Reiki share for level 2 practitioners or higher, November 1st. If you have any questions about that, you can send me an email, or I have a lot of that information on my website. Okay. All right, you guys, members, I'll see you next Monday. We'll do the Reiki healing this Friday. Ness will be on. We'll do a pre-recorded next week. Not sure about Mel yet. I'll let you all know in the community tab. Okay. All right, everyone. Sending you a lot of love and blessings. You take really good care, and I will see you all soon. All right. Bye, everyone.